Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Breaking 90 podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Jerrika and Alex. We are the coaches of Breaking 90 Fitness. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoy the episode. Hey, Jer.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I am still pretty sore.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how are you recovering from all that?
I'm on like day 4 of soreness since I just ran the Spartan race. Most of you know, you've probably heard the other episode. I'm pretty sore still.
What's your plan now until next season? I mean, you're not going to have a race now till what, May probably?
May, yeah. So I am just coming off a back injury as well. So I'm looking forward to training my strength back up to where it was. So lots of strength training. You will see me out running all winter in my winter gear.
I'll be right there with you.
Yeah, not my favorite time, but I'll be out there bundled up.
Nice. Awesome.
Back to reality.
Will you dial it back a little bit now that the race is just done, or are you just going to go hard all winter?
I'll finish the week off and I'm going to dive right back and gradually increase, just because, like I said, coming off an injury, I want to gradually increase my weights back into my program because I've been off. I'm going hard though.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing what you can do next season.
Cool.
What do we got for a topic today?
With that, talking about, goals for the new year and for what I was thinking about, I want to talk about just general goal setting. I know this is something that, everyone sees and hears repetitively, your SMART goals, but I'm going to maybe add a few tidbits there and how we kind of manage goal setting with our clients.
Cool. So start off just by, let's just talk about what SMART goals are. So the acronym and do you use them for your goals specifically?
Yeah, cool. So SMART goals stands for different words. So SMART, people interchange these ones a bit.
It doesn't matter.
Setting specific goals for the S. M, we have measurable. Are they goals? Can we measure them? A, some people will say attainable or achievable, right? We have R, realistic or relevant. And T, like time-based.
Yeah. Awesome. And I think that it really helps when you break your goal down and you look at those different aspects of goal setting, because a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, like I want to get shredded next year. Like,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that you just said is seeing them before you even start looking at every letter. You have to write it down. You have to get a pen and paper and actually physically write these out. For
sure. I do mine, as you know, I do mine a little bit differently. So I take things from outcome goal and then the process to get there. It's the same idea, but that's how I like to really do it. So look at what the outcome is. So the outcome, I want to lose 15 pounds. Okay, well, that isn't something that we can just create out of thin air. It's like somebody saying, I want to be a millionaire. Like, well, you're not just going to be a millionaire by setting a goal of being a millionaire. You're not going to lose 15 pounds by setting a goal of losing 15 pounds. So then we have to really break it down into action steps, or what the process is.
Yeah, that's what I call them, large scale goals, right? Your big picture, starting with that. What is your big picture? And for a lot of people, what we see, right? It's, I want to lose X number of pounds.
For sure. So you break it down into the action steps, or what is going to move the needle is what I typically say. And those action steps often feel like they're really small or insignificant. They're things that you're like, yeah, that's not a big deal. But those action steps are what, with consistency, are going to add up to you getting to your goal in the long run.
Small. And I think that's the big thing that you said there. They should be small and achievable, right? They shouldn't be things that are out of your daily routine, things you can easily incorporate into that.
So with something like losing weight, losing 15 pounds as an example, we don't have control over what the scale says day to day, week to week, month to month. We don't have complete control over that. We can control the steps to get there. But at the end of the day, when you step on that scale, you don't have control over what it's going to say. You can't determine that because of uncontrollable factors like water retention. So what we can control is those action steps we talked about. And rather than setting goals or action steps that are out of your control, you really need to think about what is something that I have complete control over, and think about setting a consistency goal. So is that kind of what you would do?
Yeah, consistency goal is something we've talked about before, and that's something I wanted to bring up. So continue.
So what I really mean by that is something I have complete control over. What food I put in my mouth, how much of the food I put in my mouth. So say I'm gonna set a goal of having at least 3 fist-sized servings of vegetables per day. I have 100% control over that. So then my consistency goal is going to be, I am going to get 3 servings of vegetables at least, I'll say 90% of the days during this month, because it's achievable for me. So looking at a 30-day month, that means that 3 of the days I can miss that consistency goal to be successful. So I would just keep track on a calendar. Did I hit it? Yes. Did I hit it? Yes. 27 of those 30 days, I have to hit that consistency goal. Pretty straightforward. That's how I set a consistency goal. And the big thing here is make it attainable, make it achievable. If 90% isn't attainable, because currently you're doing like 40%, then don't set a goal of 90%. Set a goal of 50% or 60%. Try to move yourself up that continuum towards what you would consider where you should be, rather than jumping from here all the way across to that perfection.
I love that you said that, but you didn't even use the word, but in B90, we use BAMs, bare ass minimums. And that is something I was hoping we would be able to talk about. So a bare ass minimum is what you just said. I'm already doing 40% of my month with my veggies. Now I don't want to jump right to 90%. So what's the bare ass minimum I can do every day so that I'm still hitting my consistency goals? That might be 50%. That might be 60%. It has to be, we want to make sure that it's not a big jump where it's overwhelming. And then if it doesn't happen, we get into that all or nothing mindset. So we dial it right back to maybe 50% this month, then 55% the next month. So bare ass minimum that I can achieve so that I'm consistent and successful. And this goes with, we have our legacy members that have been with us for more than 3 months, and we talk about their 90-day goal. And a lot of them say, I want to lose like 10 pounds or 15 pounds in 90 days. And we're like, whoa, how about 5 pounds? And they look at us like, really? Like, I can definitely do that, but why just 5 in 3 months? That sounds so, not in line with what I want. And we're like, but we can always re-up that, right? Yeah. Make it achievable, make it as your bare ass minimum, make it something you can do 100%, right? And then we can re-up. Maybe you did it in 3 weeks, maybe in 4 weeks. So let's re-up it. And then it's motivating. You always have that short-term factor that you're pushing for.
For sure. There's nothing wrong with re-upping on your goal. So set a 90-day goal that's achievable. Don't be afraid to re-up on that once you make it there. But even at the end of the day, if everybody listening to this looks back at their previous year, breaks it down into 90-day periods, we've got 4 of them, so 4 chunks, you probably didn't lose 5, 5, 5, and 5. You probably didn't lose 20 pounds over this last year. Most people listening to this probably didn't. That's still a huge accomplishment. If you could say, a year from now, I'm going to be 20 pounds lighter, you'd be pretty happy with that. And so a lot of people are saying, no, I want to lose 50 pounds or 60 pounds, and maybe you will, but focus on the steps to get you there first, which is that 5 pounds at a time, rather than trying to do everything that's necessary to get to 50.
Yeah, and I think it's okay to have multiple small goals, like we talked about. We were just talking about veggies, but you can set a small goal for 3 veggies a day for 80% of the month. Then you can also set a movement goal, which is something we do. 20 minutes, maybe 10 minutes is your bare ass minimum. 10 minutes a day for 80% of the days. So you can set multiple small goals, but at a certain point, I think it's important to prioritize. Yeah. Right? We have to make sure we have that list of, if you have 5 things you want to accomplish, well, what is the most important, or what are the top 2 most important? We can't get overwhelmed with this long, I want to do A, B, C, D, E every day. Yeah. Well, let's make sure I do A and B every day and then incorporate the other ones.
I love that you brought that in. What I'll typically do with somebody is I'll get them to set between 1 and 3 main goals, main priorities. So if the outcome goal is to lose weight, then we'll set 1 to 3 action steps depending on the person and their priorities and all of that. So say the 3 action steps just off the top of my head are I'm going to drink more water, eat more vegetables, eat more protein. And so those are the 3. Actually, I want to change one. I'm going to drink more water, eat more vegetables, and I'm going to get in my movement every day. So those are the 3. And so every day you're checking those off in your calendar. Did I hit my goal? Did I hit my goal? Did I hit my goal? Yes, yes, yes. Once you're doing that, the amount of time that you agreed on as your consistency goal now, then you look at those 3 and say, are any of these really, really easy for me, not challenging me, or are there any that I need to refocus on? So maybe you're having no problems hitting your 3 servings of vegetables, like you're doing 5 and veggies super easy. You have 2 choices here. You can up it if you think you need to, or you can remove it completely and put in a new focus point now, like prioritizing sleep.
Yeah, because that's become a consistent routine part of their day. So it's not necessarily something that needs to be checked off as a goal because it's part of your habitual day.
Yeah. And so that circles right back to what Jerrika mentioned with the bare ass minimums. We take, what I like to do is put everything on a continuum from 1 to 10. So 1 is the worst you've ever been, and 10 is where you think you need to be to get to your goal long term. Okay, so that's not where you are now, not where you need to be tomorrow. But like if you looked at your end goal of being super shredded or whatever your end goal is, that's like a 10 out of 10. So now on that continuum of 1 to 10, figure out where you are and set your goal to get you 1 notch up that continuum. Once you're knocking that out of the park, move up another notch. Once you're knocking that out of the park, you can erase that continuum and put a different one in place, or you can keep moving up until you get to a 10 out of 10 on that continuum. So each goal, like your water intake, your veggie intake, your sleep, all of these are going to have their different continuums. Some of them you might be a 2 out of 10, some of them you might be a 7 out of 10. And that's how I kind of like to prioritize goals as I move month by month.
And I think everyone will be different in terms of when you need to sit down and reevaluate.
Absolutely.
Right. So, and you have to make that, whether that's with a coach or with yourself, and be like, well, this water goal is so easy now. Like I'm doing it every day and it's been 2 weeks. Maybe that's time to sit down and reevaluate. That could be 2 weeks for you. That might be 4 weeks for somebody else, but acknowledging that is really important as well.
Might be 3 months. Like yeah. That's another thing. Yeah. Like some of these things take time. Don't expect to change overnight what you've spent your whole life doing improperly or incorrect. So some of these things are going to take time. It's going to take months before you have to adjust them. Like it's just like when we set a calorie goal, like if you're making progress, it doesn't have to change. You could probably stick with that for weeks and weeks and weeks before you have to even consider changing what you're doing.
And I think even 3 months from now, you might think you have a perfect habit created and you're getting your water in every day, and something can throw you off the rails, and that's totally expected, going to happen, and accepting that. And we talked about this in the All or Nothing Mindset podcast as well, but and just waking up, moving on, and starting fresh back into your routine the next day.
That's what's really, I think, really beneficial of looking at your goals on a continuum. So you started at a 4, you worked up to a 5 and a 6 and a 7. You're at a 7 out of 10 with one of your goals. Same movement. Every day you're at a 7 out of 10 now. You're feeling great. Life hits you. Boom. You get sick. You get an illness. You go on vacation. There's a tragedy in your family. Something happens that throws you off course. Most people are going to go from a 7 back to a 1. But what I would encourage you to do is keep moving forward, but bring it back a notch or 2 on your continuum. It's okay to go back to a 5. That's why we have to look at this on a continuum. So instead of going from that 7 all the way back to 1, say, screw it, I can't run 10 kilometers a week anymore. I just can't do it. Well, run 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
Right? So it's okay to take a step back as long as you're still moving towards the end goal. It doesn't always have to be the same speed. There's going to be different seasons of your life. There's going to be different things. There's going to be points of high motivation, low motivation, easy times, hard times. It's okay to adjust your pace.
Yeah, just because you're not always pushing, it's okay. And we talk about it's okay to maintain, or it's okay as long as you're still doing something towards that goal. It's okay to just hover for a little bit because of things going on in your life.
Totally.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah, that's what will make this sustainable for you in the long term. If you can do that rather than going all or nothing.
Yeah. And all or nothing with goal setting is what we see often. It's like people come in with these cold, hard, goals, and I want this by this date. And I think with the T and SMART, sometimes I'm a little bit lenient. Like it says to have a time frame, like I have to have this goal done by this time. Where we often talk about, like we said, re-upping or being flexible. At the end of the year, if I told you, you're going to lose 20 pounds, but maybe it didn't happen in the exact couple months that you wanted. Are you still mad? You still lost 20 pounds, but it didn't happen before November. It happened before December. So I think that one, I like to be a little bit more lenient, a little bit more flexible when it comes to the grand scheme of things.
I'm okay with time-based consistency goals. I'm not really okay with time-based goals that are out of our control. Like I'm not going to say lose 5 pounds this month, because you might not. I don't want you to feel like failure if you lose 4, because that's still awesome.
It's still awesome.
But if you can set a time-based goal, like I'm going to be consistent over this next month, that's within your control.
Absolutely.
But yeah, absolutely. Revisit your goals, re-up on them. Don't be afraid to change them. That's all part of the process.
Awesome. We pretty much tackled everything I wanted to talk about and then some.
Cool. So what do you have a golden nugget for the listeners today?
Yeah, kind of what we chatted about. I want to talk about aligning your environment with your goals. This is something that you can incorporate. Like, let's say my goal is to, drink less alcohol throughout the week. Well, now I need to align my environment with that. So maybe I may need to remove the wine bottles off the countertop, right? Because now I'm not always seeing them. Maybe they should go into the cupboard. Or, TV time before bed. Maybe that means aligning my environment by removing my TV out of my bedroom. So making those small changes with your daily lifestyle or daily house can go a long way.
Absolutely. I love it. And even something as simple as taking it out of visual sight can be huge. Yeah, putting the junk food in a further cupboard, putting the junk food downstairs, putting the wine in a cupboard, or like that's just like one extra barrier. So that's cool. I love that. Great tip.
Cool.
Thank you all for listening. As always, we appreciate you guys being here. We wouldn't do this if you weren't. So thank you for listening. Make sure you share it with your friends. Let us know what you thought. Leave your comments, rate it, and reach out and let us know what subjects you want to hear in the future. Have a great day, guys.